Now we are good to go. So the title of this discussion is The Reality of the Invisible, Seeing Beyond Sight. Seeing beyond sight. One of the purposes of the ego is to keep you safe. Okay? So what the ego does is it creates stories to keep you safe. It creates illusions to keep you safe. Right? Who would you be without the ego? What if there was nothing to be safe from? Would your ego still exist? It's an interesting question because it speaks to your awareness. Who is the one that is aware of the ego? Right? Who is the one that is aware of your thoughts in general? Your body right now. Right? How would you identify? Strong, tall, light, heavy, whatever the case may be. Who is the one that is aware of that? If I tell you to look at your hand, who is looking at your hand? When you say that you feel a certain type of way, oh, I feel sad. Who is the I that feels sad? Who are you? Without your feelings, without your identifications, who would you be? Without your memory, are you still yourself? If you wake up with amnesia and you have no recollection of your name, you look in the mirror and you do not recognize yourself. Who are you? Who is your mother without your memory of her? Does she still exist? If a tree falls in the middle of the forest and no one is around to see it, does the tree exist? Does it make a noise? All those people that pass away on TV, in the news, without your awareness of them, do they exist? Do they still lose their life? Or is it your awareness that does that? What exists without your awareness? Where do you draw the line? What do you believe is simply your perspective? And what do you believe is out there? What do you believe is solid? And what do you believe is fake? These are interesting questions because I want you to draw the line. What is real and what isn't? What is controlled by your awareness and your mind and what isn't? The truth is that everything is just your awareness. What time is it right now? Could you tell me the time without telling me a number? Without telling me a number on the clock or a day of the week? What time is it? It's right now, right? Have you ever lived in a moment that's not right now? What is the story that you're telling about yourself right now? What is the story that you're telling about anything right now? All right, I'm done going down the rabbit hole. The interesting thing about this is that all you are is a bunch of stories that you tell right now. That is it. What's good? What's good, brother? Yeah, everything is recorded. Everything is recorded. It's all recorded. It's all recorded. Right? The only thing that you are made of is a bunch of stories that you are telling from the now moment. And you stack those now moments one after the other. And we perceive those now moments as real, but they're just stories. Your mother does not exist without you. She's not special without your story. Take away your memories of her, and your mother is no different than a cardboard cutout. Those people that you see passing away on the TV, they do not exist without you. They don't exist without your story. The story that you tell about them is what makes them exist, make them special. That SP you want, they're not special without your story. Wipe your memory of them, they mean nothing. They mean absolutely nothing. They are only important to you right now because you're telling a story about them. And this is the world that you live in. All right? Now let's talk about this in terms of manifestation. Let me actually get to the lesson. I'll get back to this. All right. So the reality of the invisible, seeing beyond sight. All right. 2 Corinthians 5:7. For we walk by faith, not by sight. For we walk by faith, not by sight. Okay. Now, I already answered that question, right? Just right there. For we walk by faith, not by sight. Okay. Saying that you have to do something in your physical reality to get something implies that right now you are not the person that has it. You have to pick a side. Do you have it or not? If you don't have it, right, now I try to get it. Now I think I have to do something out there. I have to react this way. I have to work like this. All of these things imply I do not have it. If you do have it, if you know you have it, it does not matter what you do. Every action you take is magical because you are the identity of the person that has it. So it doesn't matter if you do something. It doesn't matter if you don't do anything. All that matters is who is the one doing it. Are you doing it from the end, from the knowing that I am everything I desire to be right now, no matter what? Or are you doing it from the desire or from the, every time I put that as my headline, I always get those comments. It's like y'all are just waiting. Why do y'all do that? All right. So who are you, right? Who are you when you do those things? If you are in the identity of I am everything I desire to be, source is within me. If I'm in that identity, then everything that I do is perfect. If I'm not in that identity, then everything that I do is going to be off. Okay. So for we walk by faith, not by sight. This is not an invitation to blindness, but to deeper vision. Sight ends at appearances. Faith penetrates to essence. What you see with the eye is only the residue of what was believed yesterday. Faith is not waiting for evidence. It is living from evidence the world cannot yet see. To walk by faith is to walk from the invisible treasury of identity, knowing that what is hidden in spirit must clothe itself in form. Know that you are source. Therefore, all things can be added unto you. Right? Once you know who you are, now everything can be added to you. When you don't know who you are and you're trying to chase validation out there, you're waiting for somebody to come from the sky and save you. You're waiting for some SP to come into your life so you can feel good, so you can feel whole. You're waiting for the external validation, right? You're going to constantly be on that hamster wheel of becoming, striving, anything that implies separation, anything that implies that right now you are not the person that has everything that you desire is the illusion. That's the illusion. That's what we have to drop. Okay? So, Hebrews 11:1, right? Hebrews 11:1. Okay, let him waste his time. You are God. Don't let other people argue for their limitations. You have none. All right, 11, Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is not wishful thinking. It is substance. Faith is more than just wishful thinking. It is substance. It is the invisible matter from which visible worlds are built. Just as sound waves precede the music you hear, so does faith precede the form you touch. To hope without faith is fantasy, but to hope with faith is to hold evidence before evidence arrives. Creation recognizes this conviction and responds. For faith is the original blueprint of form. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Right? Do you hear that? Creation recognizes this conviction and responds. Creation doesn't respond to hope. It responds to conviction. It does not respond to begging. It responds to conviction. For faith is the original blueprint of form, right? So the mirror of the unseen. I didn't change the fit. I'm in the same thing. Everything physical is the shadow of the invisible. Okay? The oak tree was hidden in the acorn. Right? The oak tree was hidden in the acorn. Even, right? Even the car, right? Everything, nothing can travel. This is actually a very interesting perspective, right? Nothing can travel further than language or before language. Okay? Even before a car was invented, right? Somebody had to define it. They had to say it. Right? Somebody had to explain the car. Say this is what a car is. This is the parts of the car. Right? It's going to have this many wheels, right? They had to explain it. And from that explanation, now it could be made manifest into reality. No, let them talk. This is time to shine, right? This is calling right here. This is calling right here is to be in comments. Right? So even before a car had to be made manifest, people had to, I know who you're talking to, Serena. So even before a car has to be made manifest, somebody has to explain it. Right? It has to come into your imagination and then it has to show up. This is with everything in your life. Okay? This is with everything in your life that you see. There is nothing that exists in your reality that was not once just imagination. It's how powerful your imagination is. This is source within you, right? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. The Word was with God. You are the Word made flesh. You are the incarnation of that Word made flesh. This is why we speak and we think with words which are power to allow what we want to show up in reality, okay? The cathedral was hidden in the architect's mind. Before that big, beautiful building, right, was created, it was in somebody's mind. And then number 3, the world itself was hidden in the Word before it appeared. The world itself was hidden in the Word before it appeared. Okay, so the Gospel of John opens with this. In the beginning was the Word, and through him all things were made. ... and through him all things were made. All right, John 1:1-3. So the Word is vibration, essence, unseen intelligence. This means that the seen is always the offspring of the unseen. To live awakened is to no longer worship shadows, but to commune with Source. Remember, the external reality is just shadows. This is what it is. It's a shadow world. It is a dead world. Right? It's the old. Everything that you see right now is tied to an old belief. That's it. Right? Appreciate you, Leslie. That's exactly what I was thinking. Appreciate you, Leslie. Right? Everything that you see is simply the old world. All right? Now, whatever you see out there, what is actually giving it meaning? This is what we were talking about earlier, right? We were saying, okay, look, what means anything without your story? Does your mother mean anything to you without your memory of her? If you wake up with absolutely no memory and you open your eyes, this is the first person you see. The first person you see, no words are explained. She doesn't say anything, doesn't identify herself. You just look. What does she mean to you? Nothing. It is your story, your explanation that makes her special. Right? That's it. I am a warlock. You're right. I am. So it is your explanation of her that makes her special to you. Point blank, period. This is every situation in your life. Every situation in your life. Okay? Whatever you are going through, that person in front of you, they don't mean anything unless you give them meaning. Right? Your SP, they are not special until you give them meaning. All right? So to live awakened is to no longer worship shadows. This is what idolatry is, making false idols. I am the Lord God, and there is no other besides me. Your I am awareness. You should not be worshiping anything outside of you. Nothing is larger than you. The kingdom is within you. Source is within you. I am is within you. I am is within you. To think that anything out there is larger than you, larger than God, that is the issue. That is the true meaning of idolatry, right? It's to think that anything out there can have power over me. Okay, cool. So identity is the first creation. Identity is the first creation. Neville Goddard said what? Change your conception of self, and you will automatically change the world in which you live. The moment I see myself different, everybody shows up differently to me. The moment I see myself as perfect, everything can be added to me. The moment I actually relax into the truth that I am made in the perfect image of the Creator, right? This is what a religion tries to trick you out your spot. You're a sinner. You're born imperfect. You have to chase holiness and chase worthiness, and it keeps everybody on this hamster wheel. Everybody in church just on the hamster wheel of becoming. The only person making money is the preacher. Everybody else is just in there getting high off of hope. What did Jesus say, right? If you remember, when we talked, we had a discussion about the Pharisees, that division consciousness. This is what the Pharisee represent metaphysically, is division consciousness. And what did Jesus call them? Jesus said, these are like whitewashed tombs, holy on the outside. They follow the structure outside, but inside they are dead. They didn't care to see Jesus healing people. They didn't care to see people turning their life around. They didn't care about any of that. They simply cared about what? The words in those scrolls, the words in those books. They were not concerned with him actually healing. They were just upset that he was healing on the Sabbath. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying right here? Okay, this is that division consciousness. We're into looks. We're into acting holier than thou. We're into what the book says, but we're not actually cultivating that close relationship with source within us. All right? So this reveals the law. Okay, identity is the first creation and circumstance is the second. Identity is the first creation. Identity is number one. Okay, and number two is what? Circumstance. Circumstance is the second. The mistake of the unawakened is to reverse the order. The mistake of the unawakened is to reverse the order, trying to sculpt identity from circumstance. Ugh. Trying to shape identity or shape identity from circumstance. Judging who I am based on the circumstances, right? trying to base identity on the circumstances. Okay, but you are not clay. You are the potter. Remember, all these characters in scripture are you. They are internal. This is a book of your internal state of consciousness. All right? When you assume the identity of the healed, the wealthy, the beloved, the world must conform. Your inner I am is the decree. Reality is its echo. Huh? What was we were talking earlier, right? And I know one of y'all was saying how they're going through some things and they were trying to figure out why certain things were going on in their life, right? I am embodying this person where I have these good relationships with people, but then when the people do not show up the right way, now I'm trying to figure out, what am I doing wrong? Do you hear this? Okay, this is just what we were talking about. I'm trying to show up a certain way. I'm trying to have them show up a certain way. I'm trying to embody a certain thing. However, when they don't show up that way, now I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong. I'm trying to shape my identity based on the circumstance. I'm going to the circumstance and I'm saying, well, because it looks like this, I must be doing something wrong. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? Because the situation doesn't look right, because the circumstance doesn't look right, I must be doing something wrong. So I'm basing my identity on the circumstance, right? Instead of allowing the circumstance to just be a perfect circumstance, one of the infinite amounts of circumstances that are out there, just letting it be, accepting it, knowing that it is perfect, and then choosing what I want moving forward. The circumstance cannot define me. Nothing temporary can define me. A temporary feeling cannot define me. A temporary circumstance cannot define me. Whenever I'm going back, right? Like my brother Austin was saying on the last live, whenever I'm going back and I'm trying to fix these situations, right? Or I'm trying to ignore these situations. I'm trying to suppress them, turn the other way, right? What I'm doing is I'm actually acknowledging that these are real situations that I do not want to experience. So because of that, guess what? They keep showing up more. This is just that hamster wheel, right? You're running away from yourself And yourself is like, hey, look, come back. Okay? Come back. Because the truth is, if you knew that you had it, it wouldn't matter what showed up. If you knew that you had it, it would not matter what showed up. You don't need to run from it because you know the truth of who you are. That is the power. The power is not in backing down. It's not in running away. The power is in knowing who you are. Okay? Perfect. All right. So you are not clay. You are the potter. When you assume the identity of the healed, the wealthy, the beloved, the world must conform. Your inner I am is the decree. Reality is its echo. Reality is the echo, not the beginning. You are the beginning and the end. You are the Alpha and the Omega. I know. Repent, Alex. You can't say that. You are the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. You are all that there is. You are source. You are God. You are everything that you desire to be right now. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you're living in the life of your dreams. You're not in people's lives like this guy. Okay, so desire as divine proof. Desire as divine proof. Psalm 37:4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. We talked about this last time, but really think about this, okay? Delight yourself in the Lord. My dog said, final warning. No. Delight yourself in the Lord. Delight yourself in the Lord, in the law. Remember, in the Old Testament, what does Lord represent? In the Old Testament, Lord means law. Law. Delight yourself in the law, in the power of the tongue. Make it your primary objective. Make it your life. Delight yourself in the law, and he will. Remember, will doesn't mean in the future. It means an absolute statement of ownership. Will. Delight yourself in the law, in the word, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Remember, when we hear the word, right? When we say, love the word, delight yourself in the law, in the word. Okay? When you say that, bro, I'm supposed to be your brother, and you sitting here cursing me, man. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? Get a fucking life, man. What the hell is wrong with you? All right? So anyway, delight yourself in the law, and he will give you the desires of your heart. We're not talking about walking around and desiring the Bible, right? Delight yourself in the Bible. We're talking about in the law. What is the law? Remember, I am is the only law. I am. Source is all that there is. It's all that there is God, is source, is all that there is. Everything else is a concession to God. Everything else comes next. So God is all that there is. Now, anytime that I say I am, okay, that's God's name. I am. That's who I am. I'm pure awareness. I'm all that there is. Anything after that, I am, boom, is a concession to God. It's a concession to all that is. It's simply me invoking the name of God in my life and creating reality, creating laws. Okay? So when I love the law, which is I am the only law, when I love this law, God will give me the desires of my heart because I love the law. I confront myself with the law every moment, every day. Every day, right? This is beautiful. God gave you everything that you needed already. You were born with everything that you needed to transform your life in whatever way is necessary. You have your own personal savior within you. Your I am awareness is there to save you from whatever situation you're going through. You're never down and out. You're never cast out. You're never unloved. You're never forgotten. You are everything you desire to be. What greater comfort is there to know that you walk with source every step of your life? What greater love is there? What more comforting truth is there to know that God is within me, God is me, God walks by me, God walks in front of me, God orders all of my steps. What greater comfort is there? Okay? So delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Desire is not proof of lack. It is proof of possession. We've talked about this, right? Now, you are God. I know what I'm saying. If you agree, that's fine. You can still get this work. You can still transform your life. But I know what I'm saying. Desire is not proof of lack. It is proof of possession. Okay? Desire is not proof of lack. It is proof of possession. You could not crave what you did not in some higher sense already contained. Hear that. Hear that. You could not crave what you did not in some higher sense already contained. Okay? Cool. Agree to disagree, my brother or my sister, whoever you are. You could not crave what you did not in some higher sense already contained. This is divine memory. This is you remembering on a soul level who you are. Okay? There is absolutely no separation. Let's talk about that. There is no separation. Where does God end and I begin? Where do I end and reality begin? Please tell me, where does God end and I begin? God is within me. I am within God. Where does my reality start and I end? There is no separation. There is one mind. There is only one. There is one mind. There is one substance, and that is God. That is all that there is. God is indivisible. Where one piece of God is, all of God must be there. You cannot separate yourself from God. You cannot separate God from yourself. You are one and the same. You are the identity of God. God is pure spirit, all that there is. Pure spirit. God is not some being in the sky looking down at you, granting you wishes on a wish list like fucking Santa Claus. God is pure spirit, all that there is. And you are the identity of this spirit. You are the manifestation of the identity of this spirit here to experience itself. How are you not God? You are God and you are everything you desire to be right now. And the only thing keeping you from the life that you want and keeping y'all in my comment sections is you refuse to believe the truth about who you are. Like, let's get past the whole you are God, you're not God, right? Know that you are everything that you desire to be right now. And you can have that reality. You can have whatever reality that you want. Know that you are everything you desire to be right now. If that's the offensive part, cool. You can have everything you desire to be right now. All right? So desire is not proof of lack, it is proof of possession. The hunger for love is evidence that love abides in you. Okay? Did you hear that? The hunger for love is evidence that love abides in you. The longing for abundance is evidence that wealth is encoded in your spirit. Desire is a divine receipt, not a debt. It signals that what you yearn for already exists in eternity. What you yearn for already exists in eternity, calling you to remember you can have anything that you can imagine. Anything that you can imagine, you've already experienced in the spirit. The only thing that you could never receive, you could never have, is the only thing that you could absolutely never imagine. And that's not existing. Other than that, everything is free game. The only thing you could never have is the only thing that you could never imagine, and that is not existing, because you are infinite. You are God. You are infinite. Point blank period. Okay? Desire is a divine receipt, not a debt. It signals that what you yearn for already exists in eternity, calling you to remember. Living from the end. Living from the end. It probably cut off there. I'm glad you said it. I'm gonna check it. I'll re-upload it. I'll re-upload it if it's not up there. All right. Mark 11:24. Therefore I tell you. Okay? Therefore. Remember when we hear therefore or verily, verily, truly, truly, this means real talk. Sit down, listen up, grab a pen, hear this. We're about to show you something right now. Okay? So verily, verily, therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer. Okay, let's read that again. Whatever. That's some of the things. Not unless they're ego desires, right? Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, not believe that you will receive it, right? Not believe that you're going to receive it, okay? Cool. Believe that you have received it and it will be yours. This is an absolute statement. Whatever you ask for in prayer. Well, what if my SP is with somebody else? And what if it was a toxic past? Whatever you ask for in prayer. Whatever you ask for in prayer. Believe that you have received it and it will be yours. Collapse time and space. Go to the end. Make the beginning and the end the same, right? We talked about this with a piece of paper. Make the beginning and the end the same. This is you right now, right here. At this point, let me make sure I ain't writing nothing out here. This is you right here, okay? This is where you think you want to be, okay? This is you. Mark 11:24. Mark 11:24. A truth, an ultimate truth, all right? This is you right here. This is where you want to be. You think you have to go through the straight line, right? You believe you have to strive and work and hustle and beg and affirm and visualize. All you have to do is collapse time. You just have to become the person on the other side. You just have to be that person. How do you become that person, Alex? How do you become that person? By simply saying that you are. By simply saying that you are. Going to the end of the movie, watching it, and saying that you are. And now from that place of power, if I already had it, what would I be doing right now? If I already had this shit, would I be worried about how I react in this quote unquote unfavorable situation? Nah, you would not be worried about that. You wouldn't be worried about that at all. You would just do the best you can knowing you already have it. Would you be sitting around trying to affirm your way into feeling like you had it if you already had it? No. Just the fact that you're sitting around trying to make yourself feel like you have it implies you don't have it. It's not about feeling. It's just a frequency. How frequently do you say some shit? How often do you come back to that story? Right now, the moment you say that you have this person, have this money, have that thing, are this person, the moment you say it, you are it. You're transformed. You have immediately become it. Now reality goes into overdrive to catch up with your divine ass, to match you. The only person that can stop this freight train is you. By making up rules that do not serve you. What do I mean a rule that does not serve you? Well, what if I don't feel good and I'm not in alignment? I can't keep the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Who said it was a feeling? Who said it was an emotion, right? Even Neville said, when I speak of feeling, I do not speak of emotions. I speak of your acceptance of the fact that right now you are the person that has everything that you want, that you are the person you desire to be. This is just a choice. How do I know when the affirmations, the visualizations, and the being is working? How do you know when it's working? It's a choice. Greetings. I appreciate you. It's a choice. This is how you know that everything is working, that reality is changing for you. This is how you know. About to drop a gem. This is the only thing that you need to know. When do I know that reality is shifting for me? When you make a choice that it is. When you make the choice that it is. Nobody can tell you. You are God. You are all that there is. You are source. You are the one making rules. You are commanding God. Remember, God is all that there is. Reality creation is done. Everything exists. You are choosing what moment to jump in next by your decrees, your expectations. So if I'm somebody walking around looking for things to change, to prove to me I'm doing it right, reality is going to say, okay, let's give you more reasons to look around and see if you're doing it right. That's it. That's it. I want you to sit down right now on this live, and I want you to say, I am the person that has what I want right now. And I want you to realize that you are. And now every time you try to be this person again, I want you to remind yourself, why am I trying to be what I already am? Every time a situation you don't like show up and you're like, I don't know how to react to it, I want you to say, I already have it. It doesn't matter how I react to it. I already have it. I want you to remind yourself the truth every time you think opposite. Just reminding yourself the truth. Oh, I already have it. That was the old version of me thinking about that again. I already have it. It's mine. How can you tell me how you're going to get there? What you're going to do on the way there? How you're going to get them back if you already have them? How are you going to tell me that? How are you going to figure out? How are you going to figure out how you're going to get the money if you already have it? Which story is true? Pick a side. Do you have it or not? Pick a side. Double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Pick a side. Make a choice and know that God always keeps his promises. Always. Okay? So therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. This is not instruction in begging, but in identity. Believe you have received it. Not will, not may, but already have. This dissolves the illusion of time between you and fulfillment. To live from the end is to breathe, speak, and move as though the promise has already ripened. The world rearranges itself around this knowing, for destiny bows to embodiment. Destiny bows to embodiment. Destiny bows to embodiment. Okay? The overflow of vision. The overflow of vision. Okay. Creation is not coaxed. It's not tricked, right? God cannot be mocked. It is compelled. It is compelled. When your being aligns with your vision, form must follow. A flame does not argue with darkness. It illuminates. Right? You don't fight away the darkness to get the sunlight, right? You just open your eyes and realize you've been in the sunlight the whole time. Let me say that one more time. Okay, listen to this. You don't fight the darkness to get into the sun. Okay? You don't fight the lack to get to the prosperity. You don't fight the SP leaving you to get them back. You simply open your eyes to realize the sun was there the whole time. You simply remember that you've been prosperity this whole time. Lack was just an illusion. There's no lack. There's no lack of anything. Lack of love, lack of prosperity, lack of wealth, wisdom, knowledge, none of that. There's only your inability to perceive that you are already that. Without effort, without trying. No matter how you feel, you're already that. You are already that. You don't have to fight off the lack to become prosperity. You simply have to remember that you could be nothing less. I am that I am, no matter what. Okay? A rose does not plead with soil. It blossoms. The sun does not beg the dawn. It is the dawn. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, right? Then what did the Word say? What did God say? Let there be light. I don't remember saying, God said, let there be light. And then the subconscious mind was reprogrammed after a couple days. Then the nervous system was fully in regulation. And then the light came after God felt the light for a little bit, right? The Word is your power. The Word is your power. The Word is your power right now. The moment you say it, it is done. I am is above your feeling. I am is above your funky ass nervous system. Right? Some of you, every time you get nervous, you start farting. Right? God, I am is above that. Okay? I am is above your gratitude. That's a big one right there. Will gratitude help me get it? Help you get it? I thought you already had it. We act as if gratitude and love and the subconscious reprogramming is just something that's drawing our reality closer and closer. And the moment that we slip, it just slips out of our grasp. Right? The guy's just a trickster. The guy's just holding a carrot in front of a fucking treadmill for your ass, and you running after it, affirming, I am prosperity. I am prosperity. Damn, that sounds exhausting. You already have it. It is already within you. It's already within you. Seek ye first the kingdom, and all things will be added unto thee. Right? And we had a long conversation when we talked about this in process, right? We talked about it we talked about it in the sense of your desires being this divine memory. And that divine memory is just calling you back into yourself. Like, no, you've been seeing all this lack, but it birthed this desire for prosperity. Right? Where did that desire come from? Where did most of your desires come from? Think about that. Did most of your desires come out of thin air? No, they didn't come from ego. They didn't come from ego. Most of your desires simply came from the one mind, from source. They're reminders of who you really are. They're reminding you of the prosperity that is within you. Right? Why would God incarnate within you to deny you of everything that you are? Truly, like the way that we explain God, it's as if we believe God is cruel. You come down here, right? You come down here and then God gives you these desires just so you can deny him and run away and say these are ego desires. We talk about it like this is this cruel God. This is a loving God. This is infinite love you're talking about. This prosperity is showing you who you are at your core. You deserve it. You deserve your desires. You deserve your desires. Cherish them. They're the promised land, right? This is the story of the Egyptians or the Israelites leaving Egypt. To get to the promised land, your promises are your desires. Walk through that wilderness, right? Cross the sea, then cross the Jordan, and get to the promised land, and all those things. Right? But you can't even tell me where some of your desires come from. They just come from the one mind. All of a sudden you have this creative urge to do something, to pay. What is it when you get into the flow state? When you're doing your art or your writing or your reading or your drawing or whatever you might be doing, you might be making love, right? And all of a sudden time dissolves. Into what? Into you. You dissolve into the moment, into that present moment. You're making love to a goddess, right? 2 hours feels like 15 minutes. You all become one and the same. What is that? When you're doing your art and all of a sudden 3 hours feels like 20 minutes. It feels like no time. You can't even put a time to it. All of these ideas come out of nowhere. All these ideas come out of nowhere. What is that? What is that? All these divine ideas, are these yours? Do they belong to you? Do you have ownership of these? This is the muse, right? Like we talk about in all kinds of different spiritual circles, right? The muse, that divine feminine just washing over you when you surrender to the moment. All right? These desires that you have, right? They're divine memories calling you to go within yourself and remind yourself the truth of who you are. That is, seek ye first the kingdom and all things will be added unto thee. That is what that means. Your desire from source. Your desires are from God. Don't think of them as anything different. Your desires are from God. And they call you into yourself to accept them. Accept them. I am everything I desire to be right now. And with that acceptance, guess what you're doing? You're seeking the kingdom within you. And now all these things can be added to you. This is what this means. A desire to desire is a very spiritual process. Very spiritual process. Okay? But we chastise and condone these desires like they're something a part of us. Nothing is a part of us. We look at circumstances in our life that we don't quote unquote want anymore, like they're a part of us, or separate from us, a part of us, separate from us. Let me just be very clear with my language. We look at these circumstances we don't like they're separate from us, but they're a part of us. They're a perfect part of a perfect version of ourselves. They have the right to exist. They have the right to be. I do not need to resist them or push them away. I should love them the same way I love something I want. But I know I can choose differently now. All right? Cool. So too with you, okay? So too with you. When your identity stabilizes in truth, reality cannot help but overflow in alignment. Christ declared, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. That's Matthew 12:34. 1, 2, 3, 4. Matthew 12:34. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. To live abundantly is not to wait for proof, but to become the overflowing heart from which all proof flows. I am the proof. Remember, I don't need to see you change to know that you've changed. Because I know that you've changed, you must change. I don't need to see the money to know I am prosperity, but because I know I am prosperity, now the money must flow. I don't need to see a for sale sign on that house to know that I'm going to get it. But because I know that it is mine, now it must be added unto me. I do not need to see the evidence to know. But me knowing brings the evidence. Me knowing is the evidence. All right? Couple reflection questions. Number 1. Where am I still trying to extract identity from circumstance instead of planting circumstance from identity? Where am I still trying to extract identity from circumstance? If you weren't on here earlier, right, the example I gave is I was having people up the last conversation, right? One of the goddesses mentioned, I've been trying to embody this so people in my life could change. But every time those people showed up and they were still the same, what was she doing? She was going and digging, trying to figure out, what am I doing wrong? So just because they showed up, the assumption is that them showing up like this, that is who I am. It means my identity is off. I'm basing my identity on circumstance instead of just what? Knowing who I am. And from the knowing of who I am, they can show up however, but I know they must change. You don't have to change, right? You don't have to change to prove to me that you have changed. But when I know that you have changed, now you must change. Now you must step forward as a different version of yourself. Okay? Number two. What desires in me feel less like lack and more like confirmation of eternity? Dang. That was it. That was it right there. Not bad, yo. I just went on a whole journey of the mind. I was thinking about that dude telling me to repent, and I was like, fuck. I done dropped the cap. It's got germs on it, and I'm finna get sick. What desires in me feel less like less like lack, and more like confirmation of eternity? Oh, that's so funny. The interesting thing is, why I'm always kind of mindful of things like that is because, to curse another is to curse yourself. Because there is only one. There's only me. There's only I. There's only I am, right? So me condemning somebody to a condition is me condemning myself. Me cursing another is cursing myself, right? Sometimes we can try to stand on what we believe is righteousness so heavily that we end up like cursing ourselves, right? Because that's what a word is, right? A word, you're always casting spells. So we're just simply casting spells on other people, right? Now, no spell that anybody ever tries to attempt on me is I'm forever protected, right? It's forever being returned to sender. And it's the same with you, right? Nothing outside of me has any fucking power over me anyway. So the more that we are talking to people, right? You really don't know what's going on with people. You really don't know, what I'm saying, how protected certain people are. So, let me not go down this path. There is only one power. There is only you in your reality. Nobody else has power over you in your reality. Point blank, period. Know that. Just know that. Okay, that's all you need to know. Nobody has power. Nobody has power over you in your reality. Point blank, period. Return it to sender. They cuss you. Return it to sender. If you want to be nicer, let it evaporate in the sky. To me, I return it to sender though. All right. Number 2. What desires in me feel less like lack and more like confirmation of eternity. And number 3, right? How can I walk today by faith and not by sight in just one specific area of my life? Okay. Where can I know that I'm already everything I desire to be? In what area of your life, right? Maybe it's financially, right? Maybe it's finally just relaxing. Maybe it's just finally resting in the knowing I don't have to try to walk around being more prosperous. I just am. And because I just am, everything must be added to me. The paradox of surrender. The moment I stop trying to be more worthy, all of a sudden, here comes the X. The moment I stop trying to be loved, just knew I was, here comes all the X's. Right? The moment I just stopped trying to be prosperity, it knew that I was. All of a sudden, the money's coming out of random places. The moment I made a decision, I'm already everything I desire to be. I'm just tired. I'm tired of all the affirmation work. I'm tired of all this reprogramming work. I just am. I just am right now everything I desire to be. That's it. Now all of a sudden, everything is added to you. Surrender is a very powerful, powerful place. Letting that greater mind take over. You've done enough work. You've done enough reprogramming. My goodness. You've done enough affirmations. Just make the choice. You no longer need to try. You simply are. Okay? Number 4. If I truly believed I had already received, how would my posture shift right now? If you just knew that other person, that SP that you want right now, was just going through all of your old pictures, crying about how much they miss you and how they hope you'll take them back, showing up with flowers at your door. If the money was just gathering behind the scenes to flow into your bank accounts, how would your posture shift right now? You might give a couple less fucks. Not giving a damn is a very powerful place to be. How would your posture shift if you knew it was on the way? Number 5, what inner assumptions am I already? Let me start that over again. What inner assumptions am I ready to surrender and replace with truth? What inner assumptions am I ready to surrender and replace with truth? That money is difficult to get. Example I always give, right? It's people that are making lots of money selling pictures of their feet. And we're still walking around thinking that money is difficult to make. Interesting. Very interesting. Right? It's just people right now on Skid Row. No house. No shower. Deeply in love and faithful to one another. But you still think all men and women ain't shit. There are situations all over the place. There's situations all over the place that disprove our theories of what is possible in the world. Limitations, right? Limitations are simply meant to be confronted. They're meant to be dropped. You have no limitations. Boy, y'all funny as hell. That's how you know. That's how you know if she love you, right? Take your socks off in front of her, right? Tell her your feet hurt because you had a long day. That's how you know she loves you. She touch your feet. Did she rub your feet? Oh, that's love right there. Rich man, I know, right? I was an athlete. I had cleats stepped all over my toes, right? Look, baby, if you love me, put my big toe in your mouth. Prove it. Let's see how much you love me. You gonna ride or die for me or not, right? If she not finna touch my feet, oh, you don't love me like that. You don't love me like that. I'm offended. This is just the way that I am. Accept me for me. Nah, I just playing with y'all. I just playing with y'all. Some of y'all women have ugly ass feet too underneath the nail polish. Without that nail polish, your feet would look something different. I know. A couple of them toes don't look right. Yeah, so don't start laughing too hard. Don't start laughing too hard on it. I know what y'all be doing. Trying to hide that little black pinky toe, huh? All right. It's always that pinky toe. No. Let me see that motherfucker. Pull that motherfucker out right up. Yeah, y'all think y'all slick, huh? Okay. That's easy to say on the keyboard. I got pretty feet. Alice, I got pretty feet. You gonna turn all the lights off in the house before you take your socks off. Okay, let me turn this light off and dim the phone screen. Nah, I wanna see. Put that shit out. I wanna see. I do go to the nail shop. I remember the first time I went to the nail shop, my sister took me. Back when I used to play football, she used to start taking me. She played volleyball, played football. And so I remember like the first time I went, like okay, first of all, my feet not that ugly. Okay. They ain't that pretty neither. My feet just are. But you know how they scrape that shit? They put that like cheese grater shit on there. Right? And that shit was after season too. It shit is just like snowing. I was like, man, this is disgusting. Right? This is really a thankless job. Could you? That's gotta be a tough. I already don't really like feet that much. Right? Like they're cool. Yeah, some people love feet. I got homeboys, they love some pretty ass feet. Like, well, pretty feet, you got pretty feet, that's cool, right? Me personally, it's not my thing. I could go without seeing them. But to be in a place with feet all day. You know how they'll try to serve you drinks and shit too. I don't want to drink with all these feet around. That's not appealing to me. Like to take a sip of something with, it's not even relaxing that somebody is by my feet right now. All right. But I end up starting to do my own shit, right? Like I got like my own stuff in my feet, so I do my own feet. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because if I want to go to the beach, right, I don't want to be the only one out there with one sock on because that foot is ugly, and this foot I don't got no sock on. And I don't want to be that guy. Right? Or I don't want to be the one that with my toes buried in the sand. Right? I want to look, you know what I'm saying? I want to be comfortable out here, right? I want to be comfortable out here. But I have had one, man, look. Gentlemen, have you ever dealt with a woman with ugly feet? Or like with rough feet? Because women like to like rub their feet on you. Like, it's like women don't care what they, and the words when they put them cold ass feet on your back or something like that. Oh my God, you're so warm. And put them big sandpaper mitts on your back. You get scared as hell. You think a monster under the bed. Bitch, what the fuck is that? Oh, it's just your feet. I thought it was a fucking rat in this motherfucker, man. God damn. The fuck is that? The girl got mutant feet on your back. Anyways, I'm way off topic. Right? Manifest some pretty feet for her. Manifest some pretty feet for her. When you love them, you don't even see if the feet. I don't know. I haven't reached that level of love yet. I'm hoping for it though. The level of love where I overlook her feet, where I don't see her running through the crib, and out the side of my eye, I just catch some. God damn, what the fuck is that? The fuck is that over there scratching the wall? Them bitches look like they can climb trees. Let's come here. Bring them goddamn feet back up. The fuck have you been doing for the last 20 years? You gotta hold her up by the feet and look at them bitches. Are you sure? Are you sure these the right pair? You must have picked up the wrong feet. The fuck is this? Now you gonna have to dip them hoes in some acid or something. Clean them bitches. Wash them bitches with peroxide and alcohol. God damn. Right? The feet don't even match the face, girl. No, I'm just playing. Let me get off y'all's feet. Sound like a pit bull. No, for real. God damn. They about to start a fire in this motherfucker. Yeah. Flintstone feet. Sheesh. That girl got them Velma feet. Clip. Y'all funny as hell. Never steps. Oh yeah, if a picture of my feet get leaked, it's a wrap. I'm not showing up. For 2 weeks, I gotta let it die down. Girl, this is the one that was talking about their feet. These right here? Oh yeah. Somebody leaked my feet, it's a wrap. I said pinky toe looks hypnotized. Damn, why your pinky toe trying to promise me some shit? Damn. Why your pinky toe crooked like that? Shit. Motherfucker throwing up gang signs, bro. What part of the neighborhood I'm in? Shit. Don't put them bitches out the window. We gonna get shot at. Shit. I missed you more. I missed you more. I see somebody's feet, you just start wanting to bark at their ass. The fuck is wrong with you? And your feet look dangerous, girl. Dangerous ass feet. Shit. I don't know. Bitch, pull your feet out. I don't know if you lying or not. You got your fingers and toes crossed. Every time she tell you something, you gotta pull your feet out. Uncross your goddamn toes and tell me the truth. Do you love me or not? I never said that my feet were. Okay, why all your socks stretched right here? Right now, I got these big ass claw hook holes in it, right? I know ain't no normal toenails poked holes like this in these damn socks. Shit crazy. Right? I know a grounding session hates to see you coming. She walking around outside with them big ass feet. Poof, poof. All the fucking insects just taking off. Not again. Leave us alone. Our home. Leave our home alone, please. Like, damn. Big ass corns just stomping. Them big ass corns, especially in that summer heat. Them big ass corns in that summer heat. Oof. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Fee, fi, fo, fum. They over here doing the 1-2 step. That shit's crazy. All right, y'all are too childish for me. Y'all are too childish. I can't believe y'all just went. I can't believe y'all are still talking about somebody poor feet. They can't help it. They can't help it. One of them motherfucking the big toenail just falling off like a sliding door. Like, maybe you should cut that shit off. Let it start over again. I think that toenail is dead. Let that motherfucker start over again. Please. Please, just save it. Just spare it. Let it go. Right? This motherfucker just hanging on for dear life on your toe. Please, cut me off. I'm dead. Oh, man. Man. Damn, that was funny. That was my good laugh of the day, man. I appreciate y'all. All right, anyways. All right, we got affirmations. Okay. Affirmations for the toes and affirmations for your actual life, too. Bitch, is your toe threatening me? Why your shit balled up like a fist? What the fuck wrong with you? Why your shit balled up like a fist like that? You better put them goddamn feet away from me. Shit. Hey, what's the movie where he shoots the... It's that's Harlem Nights, ain't it? That's Harlem Nights when he shoots off a pinky toe. That's definitely Harlem Nights. Where you shoot... Why did I just think about that shit? That shit's so funny. You shot my damn pinky toe. That is an alternate universe. Oh my God, that'd be disgusting. Hands for feet and feet for hand. Should be hard as hell to walk. Some of y'all, I would hate to slap box some of y'all. Some of y'all ugly ass feet, I would hate to slap box you. Stop playing. What's wrong with you? Man, back up. Shit. Ain't nobody got time to play with you. I'm just trying to go to class. Damn. Oh, wait. Man, could you imagine getting slapped by somebody calloused up foot? You should just scrape the fuck out of your face. Damn. Should take your whole fucking beard off. Medusa feet. Damn. Don't peek. You gotta look through a mirror. You gotta look through a mirror around the corner. Oh, this hoe with them ugly ass feet ain't over there. Her, she be turning niggas to stone around this bitch. Make sure she not over there. Ooh wee. Ooh wee. Oh man. Oh bruh. And I know some of y'all got web toes too. Yeah, I already know. I know some of y'all got web toes. The statistics say that in a gathering of 50 people, there are at least 3 people with web toes. Not me. I'm not it. I'm not it. Somebody got web toes. I dated a girl with web toes too. She's freaky as hell. Thought she was a mermaid. That shit don't bother me. Can you see my feet? No. I have dated a woman with web toes, for sure. It's freaky as hell. But I like those kind of women. You can almost guarantee. Never mind. I don't want y'all going through my ex's list trying to get at them. Y'all better get y'all own women. Okay? Get y'all own women. All my exes is mine. They're mine. Okay? I'm selfish and stingy. I do like to take women swimming on the first date though. It's always fun, bro. Swimming with somebody new. Then they start swimming laps around your ass with them web toes. And you're like, oh shit, this girl was born in the sea. She a siren. She a mermaid for real. Okay, Ariel. She a little freaky ass. Come here, girl. Let's get up out this chlorine and into something more comfortable. All right. For real. She held her breath for 13 minutes. That's why I was there. That's why I couldn't leave. That's why I couldn't leave. Oh, man. I know, sheesh is right. That's what I was saying. Sheesh. Sheesh is right. All right, y'all. Oh, wait. Yeah, her lungs were very healthy. This is all I was trying to say. All right. I only knew it was 13 minutes because we put a stopwatch on it. So, okay, go. God damn. If it was any other way we were trying to find out 13 minutes, it's about 11 minutes too long for me. Yeah, just in case you're interested, it's about 11 minutes too long for me. All right. But it was cool. It's a nice trick. Right? Nice trick. Oh, man. Nah, she was cool. Oh, she's fine. I'm sure she still is swimming away out there somewhere. Right? Boy, that shit's so funny, man. That is so funny. All right, y'all. Let's do questions. If y'all got questions, let's do them. If you want to join, let's do them. Let's get your life where you want it to be. You got any limiting beliefs? You got anything? You got anything? You know what I'm saying? That's been bothering you that you want to talk about? Let's get to it. I'm always tweaking. That's who I am. All right, let's plug y'all in so we can last. What do y'all want to talk about? Or if y'all want to join, you can do that too. Do I believe in karma? I believe that there's only one law is I am. Okay? There's only one law. So anything that I speak in my life is true. So if I say that I have bad karma from past lifetimes, guess what? Reality says yes. If I say I am above karma right now, reality says yes. So all of those other laws, the law of karma, all of these things are subject to the law of being, to I am. They're all subject to I am. I am is above them all. Okay? So why I say that is because I want to be clear. I'm not saying I don't believe in karma. I do. I believe in everything that people hold as true to them. It's a true experience for them. But does it impact me? No. Why not? Because I know that I am is above karma. Right? I am is above karma. It's to teach you punishment or no punishment? Or did you mean to say I think it's to teach you punishment? You think it's to teach and not punishment. Got so reversed. Do you think it's maybe survivor's guilt? Why do you think it's that? This is what I say, right? Is sometimes we go through situations and we overcome them, right? And we step into this new life and we're so grateful that we're out of that. And we're so grateful at what we can accomplish now. But still a part of us from this vantage point of who we are looks back at an old version of ourselves and says, dang, I wish I had done better. Why was I doing this? Right? If only I had done better. What this is doing is we go back to old versions of ourselves and we begin to condemn them. But that was a perfect version of the wholeness of me. Right now, there's infinite versions of me within me right now. They're all perfect. They're all a perfect piece of the whole. That version of me that was doing whatever 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 5 minutes ago, 5 seconds ago, it's still a perfect version of me that just did what it thought was best in the moment. I don't know what I'd do if I was there again because I'm not that person anymore. That version of me had its own concept of right, wrong, morality. It was just doing its best. Therefore, I'll have a lot of, not a lot of work to do, but one of the best things that I can do is simply forgive myself. See myself as perfect. No longer go back and try to change or think about what I coulda, woulda, shoulda did. The past is gone. And without that version of me, I wouldn't be who I am right now. The version of me that was homeless, lived in cars, got the cars repoed. That version of me, right? I did sit around a long time and was like, man, why did I do that? How did I put myself in these positions? I did that for a long time. When I was sleeping on women's couches and I was doing that, right? Sleeping nowhere, not knowing what was going on. Digging this hole of my life. I could have looked back and said, damn, why was I there? Why the fuck did I do that? But would I be who I am today without those experiences? Who knows? I am grateful for that version of me that endured what they did to get me to where I am now. And though I did not understand it at the time, though I still cannot fully understand it because it's a different version of me, I still bless and honor that old version of me. I'm not ashamed of that old version of me, though I used to be. But I am not ashamed of that old version of me, because who am I without him? Who am I without that God? Right? Who are you without that God that helped you to see more clearly right now? Right now you have a different vantage point that a lot of people will never experience because of what you've been through. Give that version of you grace. And know that because you overcame something, there was still always something special within that version of you that led you here. I'm going to leave it right there. Do I find it hard to date with my ideologies? No, not at all. Not at all. I'm pretty, but my expectations have always, I've never shied away from my ideologies when dating. And I've never really seen a lot of lack with women. At least not in the last like 5, 6, 7 years at all. But I have high expectations, and I have certain expectations for myself in my reality of how women react whenever we have a one-on-one conversation. Like if I have a one-on-one conversation with a woman, my expectation is that she's going to feel some type of way, that she's not going to want to pass this up, right? And no matter what I tell her, she'll be okay with it. And that has been my reality. That's all it is. I think the more that I was open to seeing how many people actually think like me, better reality has been. Right? I don't have to walk around looking for a marriage. I don't have to walk around being a Christian. I can be myself to the fullest and know that by stepping in that light, I actually open the world, or I expand the world and creates more versions of people like me that meet me where I am. Right. Yeah, I think people create. Well, of course, yeah, people create their own karma for sure. It's a declaration, right? It's a decree. It's a decree of who you are. You said at this point you're over it. I still got 25%. Cool. All right. How do you start over after 19 years of marriage at 45 years old? New purpose, new friends, new you. You start over from a place of power. You start over from a place of wisdom and knowledge and clarity on what you want. That's it. You're never really starting over. Right? Well, actually, you're made new in every moment. But it's not like you're starting from some ground zero, right? You're starting with much more clarity, depth, maturity, a greater knowledge of who you are. That sounds like a gift. That sounds like something that the version of you that you were 19 years ago would have dreamed of, fiend for, right? So now you have that opportunity. I don't get into, speaking things from a level of reality, right? I'm not really tied to reality that closely. Right? I am who I am, and I expect what I expect. I like what I like, right? A lot of the things that the world preaches, I will not. Used to, but just don't believe in them anymore. So I don't think it's ever too late to start over. I don't believe in settling. Okay? I believe that you can have what you want. And I believe that right now, if you make a decision, okay, if you make a decision that you are exactly the person in alignment with everything that you want, these next however many years are going to be the most beautiful years of your life. But you have to accept that. That's all. Simple as that. Say, yeah, it feels like punishment. We never really understand the journey until we're on the other side of it. Fully on the other side of it, right? Like, the middle is difficult because it is a blind trust. It's a blind walk. But that's also the beauty of the journey. Is there's so much refinement that happens to us on the unfolding of whatever path, that by the time we get to the other side of it, we're refined in ways that we could not have fathomed were possible in the beginning. So keep walking, right? Just keep going. Keep trying. Keep forgiving yourself. Keep gaining new insights on what the past meant for you. And keep accepting new truths about who you are and who you are capable of being. You've been walking in nature, feeling deep gratitude for life, and very emotional lately. Why? Man, deep question, right? That could be a whole bunch of things. It could be a whole bunch of different things, right? It could be a lot. Could be a lot. I mean, I was gonna start guessing things, but I can't tell you what your emotions mean. Only you can. Right? What do you think? What do you think is going on? What do you really think is going on? Because that's what it is. What you think it is what it is. That's a ball, right? All versions of us make us whole. Right now, there's infinite versions of you within yourself. Right? The version of you that is still married, that is divorced, that is passed away, that's just being born, another lifetime, they all exist. And all those versions together add up the wholeness, the completeness of who you are. You're absolutely whole and complete and divine and perfect in love and prosperity right now. You are everything you desire to be right now. You could not be anything more than you are right now. All right? All of these are perfect aspects of the wholeness of you. They're all perfect. All of them. No matter how imperfect you want to judge one to be. Okay, how do you know you're making the right decision about something? Who is the one making the decision? Who is the one that's making the decision? Okay? Because when you are walking in the knowing that you are everything you desire to be, it doesn't matter what decision you make, they're all perfect. If you're struggling, then before you make the decision, declare, the decision that I make is going to be the perfect decision in alignment with everything that I want, no matter what. And then drop it. Don't overthink that. There are infinite paths to get to what you want. As humans, we have this illusion of planning, this illusion of we think that our plan can be perfect, like we can somehow outsmart the infinite. But your plans are always meaningless. You've never made a perfect plan. You've never seen a perfect plan. They all go to shit. They all get redirected and revised and rerouted and crumpled up and thrown in the trash can because you don't know on that path who you're going to have to meet to help, who's going to have to help you, what doors have to close for you to walk through another, which one you have to go through to get to another. We never know these things. So your plan is just something that's showing God, hey, I'm going to do something. Make the decision from power. This is what I'll constantly advise people to do. Whenever you are trying to, let's say you have two choices. Instead of getting out of the choices and then wondering if you made the right choice, before you make the choice, declare. When you make the choice, declare, this is the right choice and this choice is in perfect alignment with everything that I want. Boom. And then you know when you make that choice, it is the right choice. And it'll redirect you exactly to where you need to be. Your word is your power, it's your weapon. Your word cuts through uncertainty. Right? So how do I know that I'm making the right decision about something? Because I say so. Because my word is source. Right? Take away the uncertainty. Cut through the bullshit with the weapon that you have, which is your tongue, your perception. Let's see here. Oops, I didn't mean to hit that button. I can't even keep up with these comments. My bad, y'all. Just make the decision. We put so much importance on every little decision that we make in life, forgetting that this life is actually pretty meaningless. It's just you knowing yourself as the creator. We think we can make a wrong decision or a wrong step, but you can't because you're perfect. When you're doing things from the identity of the perfection that you are, you cannot go wrong. You cannot do anything wrong. This is why even scripture will tell you, be still and know that I am God. Stop tripping. Stop believing that your choices are so important. Stop believing there's only one way to get everything. There are infinite ways to get everything. And in those infinite ways, there are another infinite choices that you can make within every way. You cannot deny what you have already been promised by God. No man can stop it. That train is already moving. It is too heavy. For us to think that we can stop what Source already set in motion is pure ego. It is absolutely pure ego, right? Let the ego complain and whine and say, oh, I should have went this way, or what if I went this way? Wrong decision, right decision. What is right and wrong? What is failure? What is good? What is bad? But thoughts of a human perception. You are everything you desire to be. Just declare it. Just say the word. Every single step that I take is enchanted by the infinite within me. Every decision that I make is enchanted by the infinite within me. Walk from that place of power, and then let everything be added to you. Things are just different now. That's a good way to think about it. Right? Getting more in tune with yourself. Maybe you've had emotions bottled up before. Who knows, right? There could be all these different ways. But continue to explore it. Continue to explore it. Right? Because you have all the time in the world to explore it. You're already worthy. You know you're already whole. Everything is already in alignment with you. That's fine. You're already getting whatever you want. You still have plenty of time to continue to explore. Continue to see. How do I feel? What does this feeling mean? What should I do more of? What is helping me? How can I open up more? Right? And just continue to go down that journey. Bottled up emotions. One second, y'all. Be right back. Entertain each other. Y'all funny. What else y'all want to talk about? What other kind of questions y'all have? I'm surprised none of y'all joined yet. Let me see who's on. There's a lot of y'all on here hiding. It's a lot of y'all. Oh, I missed that one. Nah, yeah, no more toes conversations. No toe shaming. What do I think the higher meaning of shepherding means? Like how Jacob was a shepherd. I was going to go to your I am awareness of Jesus being the good shepherd. That's what I was going to go, the shepherd of men. I was going to go there. But I think it means the same thing, honestly, is that, you know, what is the sign of a good shepherd, right? The sign of a good shepherd is that you never lose your sheep, right? You lose your sheep. What do these sheep represent, right? We tend to think of them as little insignificant people, right? And Jesus is herding us around, right? It's your I am awareness. It is your thoughts, your beliefs of who you are, okay? Being guided into reality by your I am awareness. And your I am awareness is so cold at this, at bringing your expectations and the different versions of you into fruition, that no sheep has ever went lost. No personality has ever went lost. There's infinite of you, right? Infinite versions of you. Yet your dominant assumptions always get pulled into reality by that shepherd. So that's from my perception what it meant. However, that wasn't something that was very important for me to go down the path. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. It wasn't something that really spoke up to me or spoke to me very, very much. I do speak law of assumption. And how can you manifest stuff fast? Assume that you already have it. That's the fastest thing, right? Assuming that you already have it removes time at all. When you already have it, that removes time completely. Yeah, I teach law of assumption. All kinds of different laws. They're already done. They are already done. And then the Kundalini, yeah. So you can think of the Kundalini as the same thing, different names for the same thing. The Kundalini, or the Holy Spirit, Holy Ghost, the eternal flame, they're all one and the same. They're all the same thing, just spoken differently amongst different cultures. What the eternal flame, or the Kundalini, or the Holy Spirit is before you incarnate here, right? Your soul gets a spark from what's called the eternal flame. That eternal flame is just God or source, right? It's the center of everything. And so once your soul gets this spark, right, it can come into this type of reality, right? So basically it gets a spark, it jumps into the fetus, okay? Your mother and father create the avatar. You jump into the pineal gland of that fetus, you animate that body, and then what happens is the Spirit of God flows over the water in your mother's womb. That's your baptism. And then you are, well, first you bite from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, the tree of duality, right? And then you are born into this world. You're cast out of the Garden of Eden, out of your mother's womb, right? So this is the story of childbirth. But if you think of the Kundalini, the eternal flame of the Holy Spirit, if you've ever seen a body that has transitioned, okay, a deceased person, you'll notice that there's something off, right? Eventually you'll get dull, they don't have a glow to them, right? They don't have that light in their eyes. What is that? That's the Holy Spirit. That is the eternal flame. That is your kundalini. Also, if you've ever, there are ladies or gentlemen, if you have ever practiced retention, semen retention, ladies, if you've ever been with a man that's practiced retention, right? You'll notice that after a while, you tend to have a different glow about you, a different light to your skin, okay? Because that eternal flame, it stays at the base of your spine. The kundalini, that eternal flame, right, stays at the base of your spine. And by certain practices, you can strengthen that light, okay? You can glow that light, and it helps with regeneration of the physical vessel, etc. All right, but yes, long story short, same thing. Kundalini, eternal flame, Holy Spirit. I think it's about cultivating goodness and directing towards divinity. See sheep as holy animals because they help us elevate, literally, to climb mountains. Makes sense. Why I ask that is, because there's so many different interpretations for different scriptures, right? We've done several scripture discussions, and I speak of them from a very metaphysical perspective. But just like you say, right, the lessons show up in ways that resonate with us for where we are, what we're going through in that moment. So, that's beautiful to hear. Right? Because I can see that. Yeah, I can see them as holy animals because they help us elevate, literally, to climb mountains. Yeah, I wouldn't even have any questions on that. Yeah, that makes sense. And can you be multiple identities at once? Like poor and broke? Or like poor and wealthy? No. But are you talking about like prosperity and love? Yes. So contradictory identities? No, you can only serve one master, right? The mind can make a master out of whatever. But the only rule is you cannot serve two. You can only serve one. So if they're contradicting, then no. Yeah, I think so. Retention is something that I always recommend to men for a lot of different reasons. One is the discipline, that you can receive from practicing retention. It pulls you out of your lust, and it introduces you to a new power within you. The power to say no to sex for a man is very important, because the moment that you disengage from the rhetoric of the world of men being slaves to sex, right? Even in TV shows, you see these men that get married, and it's like they're so happy to finally get a little bit of coochie from their wife once every week or 2 weeks, right? It's just sickening to watch. Once you disengage from this thinking that sex is some kind of reward from you, and you start looking at it as just an even exchange, an equal exchange, we're both getting closer, and right now you start actually looking for different things in women. Could you, like, that is an issue, right? When men walk around thinking that sex is the ultimate reward from a woman, what do you put above it then? So you would deal with anything as long as you got a little bit of sex every once in a while. But that's why, these explicit sites are free. That's why, OnlyFans is so prominent. And I really have nothing against like people that make money off of OnlyFans. Cool, whatever. It's just how good of a man can you be when you're a slave to your sexual desire, right? And I say this from the perspective of a man. I can't speak to women, right? But I can speak and say that the same way I'll never understand what it's like to walk around and have a cycle is the same way I don't believe that a woman will ever understand what it's like to walk around with all of this testosterone in you, with all of this sexual energy. Not saying women don't have sexual energy, but it's different, obviously. Obviously. So for us to tame or to utilize that sexual energy in a healthy way, it's powerful. One of the other things is that, you know, people talk about sexual discipline in such a lax way. Like when people tell men to be sexual disciplined, they're just like, hey, keep it in your pants, man. Just keep it in your pants. How hard can it be? Just have some discipline, guys. If sexual energy isn't expressed, it's going to be expressed. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever, okay, the church is primarily ones, like the Catholic Church saying, keep it in your pants. Do we see what's going on with the Catholic Church? Do we see the sexual scandals going on there? So is it healthy to simply say keep it in your pants without giving you ways to use that energy? Only one way of using that energy is sex. It's just one way. Physically expressing it, shooting it out on a face or something, or whatever you like to do, right? That's just one way of expressing it. But there's always, you can express it through your art, you can express it through music, you can express it through your work, you can express it in meditation, you can express it in cooking, you can express it in nature, you can express your sexuality in a lot of different ways. But when you're only used to releasing through that one valve, where that energy just constantly is used to releasing there, once you start moving it through your body, you see that this energy just wants to create. It wants to create a life for you. It wants to create all kinds of things for you. And it is just your divine spark. It's literally your divine power. And as men, you know, it's a very powerful feeling to walk around and not be a slave. To not be controlled by sex is a very powerful feeling. All right. To have a conversation with a woman, she thinks she can control you with sex, and you're just not even engaging with that. All right. To not be controlled by it. It's very you're putting yourself in a very powerful place, and that's kind of where I will preach to go down that path from. How do I keep missing all these damn comments, y'all? I'm gonna start from right here. We're just gonna start from right here, from the bottom. Not something that I've needed to express. What is? I don't know. I don't know what I was talking about. What else y'all got on this beautiful Saturday? How do I know if I'm manifesting from my true self or from fear/lack? What is the story that you're telling behind the manifestation? Are you acknowledging the fact that you already have it? Or are you trying to get some or do stuff to get something? Okay, like, am I trying to not do nothing, not do anything to get something? Or am I trying to not do anything just for the love of the game, to know myself as source, and therefore all things are added to me? Am I affirming all day because I believe the affirmations are going to get me something? Right? Am I affirming from lack? Am I making it conditional at all? Right? If you're making it conditional, then you're probably doing it from lack. if you're doing it, if you have accepted you already are the person that has it, then you're probably not doing it from lack. Yeah, for sure. Who we deal with definitely impacts our reality. Primarily in an unconscious way, but it can also in a conscious way. That you're doing it right. How do we go back to the roots? How do we go back to the roots? Go back to the roots. How do we go back to the roots? The roots. Because I have so many different thoughts about this, on what it actually means, right? What the actual roots mean. How to get back to anything is going back within yourself, first and foremost. But what things do you actually do to pull yourself into the present moment? Like sitting in nature, like feeling the sun on you, like reading, like going for walks, right? Just researching in general. How often do you do things that bring you back to you? Okay. Grounding, yeah, all that. Appreciate you. Now that you've been manifesting back your ex, you believe you have him, you believe you're with him, but you worry that your faith is not strong enough. Your faith is perfect. Your faith is perfect because you are perfect right now. What are you trying to have faith in? Your ego or I am? The ego will always struggle with faith. It'll always cling. It'll always look for evidence. It'll always try to figure shit out before it happens. That's what the ego does. The ego wants to just keep you safe. But you don't have to fight against that. You no longer have to worry about if your faith is strong enough or not. Your I am, right? The I am is the one that's doing the work, not the ego. Let the ego scream and doubt. You just remind yourself of the truth that I am does the work. No matter how I feel, I am does the work. It's already promised, it's already done. Doubt is okay. Doubt doesn't stop shit. Doubt does not stop shit. It's already done. Has already done it. Remember, when you're saying that you've done it for 3 years, there's only the present moment. Okay, hear this. When you say you've been doing it for 3 years, there's only the present moment. You're just affirming that right now, I am someone who has been doing this for a long time. And reality says, yes, you are. Okay? Instead, remind yourself of the truth. You already have this person right now. There is no past. I can't say I have this person right now and then say, but I don't have them and I haven't had them for X amount of time. Those are two contradictory statements, right? Do I have them or not? You either are or you are not. That's it. I am or I am not. I have or I do not have. So me saying nothing's happened for 3 years is me saying I do not have. Okay? So change that story. Your story is, right now, the story that you've come on and spewed, right, is the affirmation. What if he's mean in the 3D but not in your 4D? What's the difference? 4D, 5D, big D, small d, right? It's all the same. Like, there's only one reality. There's only one reality. Which one are you in? Which one is real? Choose one. Choose one. You have him, and he is kind to you, and that is it. You have him right now, and he is everything that you desire, and you are in perfect alignment for that right now. That's it. That is the story. There is no other story. You can't say that it's been X amount of time. It hasn't anymore because you already have him. You can't say that he's mean in your third dimension. You can't. Because that doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is who you are being right now. Are you going to be somebody who doesn't have it because they haven't seen anything happen in X amount of time? Or are you going to be the one who has it? We have to make up our mind. We have to make the choice. Or else you're just going to be on that hamster wheel. That hamster wheel of becoming. All right? Have it. When you make the decision that you have it, everything changes. What do I feel about 5D? Dang, y'all love y'all some D's around here, huh? Look at how about the 5D, Alex? How about that one? What about the 7D? So, I did a thing the other day, and it was like the 5 levels of reality creation. Right? The five levels of reality creation. The 5th level is basically 5D consciousness, right? I am all that there is. You don't have to understand it. Here's the thing, right? We can talk about this stuff, but you don't have to understand any of this to get the life that you want. The only thing that you have to know is the moment I say I have it, it is mine. 3rd dimension is this dimension that you're in right now. A lot of spiritual teachings call the earth the 3D. Being in your 3D simply means you're living in your lower 3 energy centers. Okay? Lower 3 energy centers, the 3. 1, 2, 3, the 3D. Right? Typically you're running off of what? You're running off of lust, off of gluttony, off of lack of safety. You're running off of you're being driven by lust, by food, by lack of safety. Okay? 4th dimension is basically outside of time. Right? Infinite time, infinite space. So here in this 3rd dimension, let me not even break it down. Don't even think, scratch what I said. Let's start over. Let's make this a little bit more simple. In the 3rd dimension, you have to go through time to collapse space. Meaning, space is spread out. To get from point A to point B, I have to move through time. Meaning, if I have to go to the gas station, it's going to take me, 15 minutes. If I want to go to my mom's house, it's going to take me, X amount of minutes. If I want to go to Dallas or to LA or to New York, it takes me X amount of time. I have to move through time to collapse space. Okay? But in the 4th dimension, it's infinite time, infinite space. I do not have to move through space to collapse time because there is just one moment containing everything. Everything. There is no time to go through to collapse space. Everything exists right now. It's beyond time. Okay? Now, 5th dimension is I am everything. I am everything. There's no going, there's no selecting. I simply am everything. That's it. That's it. That's the difference. 3D, 4D, 5D. You don't have to know this to get what you want. But it's an interesting concept. Ooh, look at that. Not the star map, Polaris. Polaris. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you, Goddess. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. What's that challenge that y'all women were doing for a while? Y'all know what challenge I'm talking about. Don't make me explain myself. What's the challenge y'all were doing? In the heels. Y'all know what challenge I'm talking about. Was it challenging some heels? It was like a squatting challenge. How do you hold the faith though? What is there to hold? What is there to hold or to let go of? What is there to hold or to let go of? You are a source. You don't have to hold on to anything. You don't have to let go of anything. Right? I am doesn't need you to hold on to anything. I am just needs you to choose. Choose what you want. Stay committed to that story. When we think of faith, we think of some feeling. Holding on to some feeling. Why would I have to do that? Let go of the belief that you have to hold on to anything. Hold on to a feeling, hold on to faith. Just know. Stop trying to hold on to anything and just know that right now you are everything that you desire to be. Stop trying to be it and just be it. Wondering if you could shed some light on overthinking and not executing. I have so many things I want to get done, but feel like it's not the right time. Imposter syndrome, or I'll lose passion for it once it becomes real and not in my beautiful head. Absolutely. Let's talk about that. Overthinking in itself is it's really a misrepresentation of what we're really doing. Is there really a such thing as overthinking? Can you think too much? If it leads you to believing you're not the person that you say you are, sure, perhaps, right? But all thinking is the ego, right? All of it. Overthinking, underthinking, all thinking is the ego. I am awareness just is. I am just is. So oftentimes we get these ideas, right? I should do this. It's not the right time. Imposter syndrome. I would challenge you and I would say, is imposter syndrome a bad thing? Is the fear of not starting the bad thing, right? Isn't that part of the beauty of accomplishment? Is you have overcome yourself, the part of you that was nervous or doubted or was in fear or was scared. Isn't that part of the beauty when you're at your first recital or you're in a sporting event and it's the fourth quarter and it's nervous and you come through? Isn't that part of it? It's that beauty of overcoming. What if there were no emotions? What if there was no fear, no doubt? Then what would life be? Would life be as fun, as exciting, as engaging as it is? Okay, cool. So I asked that just to give a different perspective. Now I want to ask another question. What if the imposter syndrome never goes away? What if, right? You never don't feel nervous. Nervousness, imposter syndrome, doubt is part of the ride. It's just part of the human experience. How I deal with it is I think about how proud I'm going to be of myself when I get through it. Right? How I get through it is I just keep moving. That's really the only way to attack it. What we face, what any of us face, is not unique to us. Right? Everyone has felt fear. No one has gotten to this point of their life unharmed, untouched. Okay? But we always have a choice to continue moving. So that's the perspective that I'll give today, is that you have these, where do most of your desires come from? Do most of them come from you, or do they come from something outside of you? And when I say something outside of you, right, I'm saying that from the sense of we don't know where a lot of them come from. They come from God. They come from source, not outside of us, but they do come from something else. They come from the divine, the one mind, right? They're gifts. A lot of your ideas are gifts, and they're gifts because somebody wants to experience it as well. Somebody wants that gift, needs that gift in your reality, and you are the vessel meant to bring it into fruition, okay? That's a responsibility. Okay, and when we know that we have that responsibility, now we can actually move forward and push through and bring that idea into light. Okay, so at some point you would push through it and get rid of the stagnation or get tired of the stagnation. Isn't that enough? Isn't that enough? Isn't that still perfect? Who's judging that as right or wrong? And I'm only offering this perspective because I want y'all to try to understand what I'm trying to say here. What I'm trying to say is, who is the one that is judging me moving on something or not moving on something as right or wrong? I can give my perspective, but even if I do give my perspective and I'm like, no, just do it, just jump to it. Who is really the one that's still deciding if it's right or wrong to move? It's me, right? It's always us. It always comes down to us. What is right or wrong? What's the right timing? To me, it sounds like you're still moving on these things. You're enjoying the process of them being in your head, of the imagination, of the beauty of dwelling on these things. But they still get done. Is that a problem? I don't believe so. I don't believe anything can be late. Divine timing is right now. When we talk about the chronos and the kairos, the divine timing and the logical time, right? You know, the time of humans is on a clock, but divine timing is always right now. It's always divine timing because I'm always in the now moment. The now moment is always pregnant with God. If I do it now, it's perfect. And right now, it always gets done. I know that wasn't the rah-rah, get to it speech, but we're evolving. We're evolving. How much battery I got? Oh, I got 1%. How do you confront deep-rooted limiting beliefs I'm not even aware of? Why would you want to? Isn't being perfect right now enough? What makes you want to do more? What makes you want to dig for more limiting beliefs? Do you believe that something is holding you back right now? Isn't that just a belief? Isn't that just a thought? What if there's no more? What more work is there to do? What more limiting beliefs are there to confront? If they're meant to be confront, won't they show themselves to you? Enjoy this perfect moment. Enjoy this perfect moment. Does your subconscious mind even need to be controlled? Why do you want to control your subconscious mind? Do you believe your subconscious mind is holding you back? How does it control you? There's only right now. Who's saying that? So that's the $1 million question. Who is saying that the subconscious mind can't be controlled? Who is saying that there is a part of you that is keeping you from living the life that you want? Who is making that story up? Who is the creator that is making that story up? Whose reality is that? Now think y'all. Okay? Hear what I'm saying. There's only one law. Okay? That law is I am. I am is everything. I am is God. It is everything. It's I am. Okay? It is I am. Everything after I am is you invoking the name of God to create rules in your life. How come I've never had to reprogram any subconscious mind? How come I have thoughts that I don't want to experience and I simply say, oh, that's not me anymore? Why? 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 How come other people believe that there's this mind that is controlling them? It's just a belief, though, that they were suppressed, that these beliefs were just suppressed, and that's just a belief. You guys, hear what I'm saying. There's only a subconscious mind. There are only thoughts to reprogram. There's only a part of you slowing you down because you're saying so. There is nothing slowing you down, holding you back, keeping you from what you want, except for the story that you're telling right now. You're just playing make-believe. Right now you're playing make-believe and you're handing out slips, permission slips of power. Here, you get power. You get power, subconscious mind. You get power, a thought that I thought when I was dreaming. You're giving them slips, permission slips. Right? You are already everything you desire to be right now. That's it. You have all the power right now. You'll never be more powerful than you are right now. You'll never be less powerful than you are right now. Right now is power. So there's just as much power in you saying, I am everything I desire to be right now and nothing's holding you back. And there's just as much power in you saying, I have subconscious beliefs and thoughts that hold me back. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Right? This is the taking of full power, full authority in your life. It's saying, no more will I fall victim to invisible powers. No more will anything outside of me control me. You can't even prove to me that the subconscious mind is real. Try it. Prove to me that the subconscious mind is real. Somebody prove to me. Somebody show it to me. You say, no, bro. The subconscious mind is definitely real, bro. Prove it. It only exists in your mind. Somebody told you about it. And you said yes, and it became part of your reality. That's as far as it goes. That's it. Why are you believing so much in something you can't prove, can't touch, can't even see? That's against you. Let me put that asterisk at the end. That is against you. Okay? You can't even tell me that certain things that happen, quote unquote, across the world are real. Don't even get me started on the past. Don't even get me started on the past. Well, no, this is history, bro. If you don't believe this and you don't believe that. I had a very interesting conversation with my parents the other day. A conversation that probably could give me, if I say it out loud on here, it could probably get me banned. But we were talking about a certain group, and I said, do you even think that what happened was that bad? Do you think it's as bad as history says it is? They almost jumped out their skin looking at me. And I think, and one of the things that was interesting, I think the way that it was phrased was, if you don't believe that happened, then do you not believe slavery happened? And I was like, I get the point you're trying to make, but you're trying to argue physical reality with physical. I get what you're saying, but you can't prove to me that anything in the past existed. You can't. You can point to a history book, but you can't touch it. You can't hold it. You can say, oh, there were studies and this scientist dusted off a bone, and that's why we have a Velociraptorsaurus hanging up, right? That's why we have a Bulbasaur. That's why we have a Pikachu dinosaur that existed 30 years ago, right? You can tell me those things, right? But you can't prove it to me. Prove it to me, right? What even when we talk about history, what is history but a perspective? What is history but a perspective? We also have a collective consciousness. So as a collective, what we think is true is true. What we think as a collective is true is true. Right now as a collective, we could dream up a new past. We could revise the past like that. As a collective, we all just changed our mind. Nope, didn't exist, blah. It's done. It's gone. You know what? You know how else you could change the collective right now? By mass printing a new book. By changing at mass a new book, you could change the entire collective. You could change the past, metaphysically. By simply putting a brand new belief on everybody. You know what? Everybody here, believe this shit now. It's the truth. So what is true? What is false? Reality is just here. It's just here. It's very difficult to have this conversation with, people that aren't at a certain level. So I appreciate y'all for listening to me. Right? But, that is the world, right? That you really should take everything and say, okay, do I want to experience this in my reality? If not, no, it's not true. It's not real. That is what reality is. Reality is you. No more arguing for limitations. Oh no, I have to tell it like it is. Fuck that. No, you don't. Because it never is just what it is. It's always who you are. Right? The moment somebody tells me I have a subconscious mind, you mean I have to go through time and reprogram something within me that's trying to keep me from my desires, and one day mysteriously it'll be reprogrammed and I'll get what I want? Nah. No thanks. That doesn't sound fun. That sounds like it implies that I'm not the person that I want to be right now. So I reject it. It's a limiting belief. You mean I have to reframe and reprogram a subconscious? You mean I have to regulate a nervous system? Seriously? And when I regulate that, in some future, I have a new regulated nervous system and now I'll get what I want? Sounds like a limiting belief to me. You have the power to reject or accept everything. You have the power that right now, if I told you, you're a Scorpio, you're going to be jealous for the rest of your life. You can say, yes, I will. Sure will. Or you can say, hell no. I'm going to transcend that just like I transcend every other thing. Just like I can transcend every other thing because I am that I am no matter what. You have the power to do that. Okay? You have the power to do that. Is that a toenail you paint, or is that it's a fingernail? Just making sure. Just making sure. Said, how long have I been awake? Pretty long. There's only really right now, so that's all that matters. But long enough. That's a great question, though. Awake. Have I ever? Because I think even these days, I used to tell people, I'm pretty spiritual. But now I don't say things like that because I am is beyond even spirituality. Like, what is spirituality? I can't even define it, right? What am I? At this point in my life, if somebody were to say, Alex, who are you? What are you? Are you sure you want me to say what I think I am? You're either gonna be offended or not. Just come on, Alex. Just describe yourself. I am God. I am Source. I am all that there is. I am everything I desire to be. I am whatever. I simply am. I'm whatever identity I want to choose today. So, even though I am spiritual, that's not a label I want to confine myself to. Right? I teach from the I am. But we do a lot of different discussions here. So I have discussions that we go directly to law of assumption, but most of them I'm teaching from the I am, right? The point of everything is to wake you up to who you are so you can experience everything that you desire. I'm not really interested in you just getting a person or just getting one sum of money. I'm interested in you waking up to the knowledge that everything in your reality is you, that there's no separation. There is no as within, so without. There's just me, and I am reality. There's just I am. I am that I am. I am everything. Reality is me. We cannot separate it. We can't dice it up. Like, I don't have to, the deeper going within, right? We treat going within the same way we treat going without or going outside of us, right? Going far up there for a God in the sky, then going deep within for a God way in there, right? No, you just are. You just are reality. You are Source, right? You are Source. Nah, if you wait till this point to jump on, I'm like, damn. You waited till this point? But yeah, primarily I am. That's really the core message, is that you are God. You are Source. You are the Source. You are everything you desire to be, right? That's the primary message. From that point of power, reality is your playground. From that point of power, the SP is meaningless because you can have whoever you want. From that point of power, the prosperity is meaningless because you are prosperity. All right, so, but that is the law that the law of assumption is based on. The law of assumption is based on assumptions, but assumptions are like your assumption of who you are. I am is greater than that, right? Assumption is simply the next level down. It's the concession to I am. Right? Like I say, there's only one law, I am. Everything after I am is a concession. Say everything that you say, yes, but also how are you dealing with humans? I'm loving them. I meet everybody exactly where they are. I don't go around like a monk trying to I'm not trying to convert anybody. If you can meet the message and it helps you and sparks you, perfect. If we can have a conversation and you don't agree with me, but we can still have a conversation, perfect. If we can't have a conversation and you don't agree with me, that's perfect too. I'll meet you wherever you are. And I'm cool with that. Matter of fact, I was dealing with a woman maybe not too long ago. And we were just talking, and she asked me, we were talking about religion. We had been together for a couple hours. We had started talking about religion. And I had asked her if she went to church. She was like, yeah. She's like, do you go to church? I was like, nah. I'm like, I am the church. I am the temple. And she was like, I just want, I dream of my kids going to church and all these things. And I was like, okay, cool. That's fine, right? Not my kids, but that's cool, right? But in that moment, it was fine. It was what it was. We were simply there for what we were there for in that moment, and that was fine. I didn't need to look for anything deeper. But even from that perception, right? She even said it because I remember just accepting in my mind. She just wants to be around me anyway. It doesn't matter. And she was just like, you know what? Let's not even talk about that. I just want to enjoy this moment with you right now. I was like, okay, yeah, perfect. I already assumed that was going to happen, so that's fine. I already knew that it was headed in this direction. So that was it. That was it. So how I deal with people is I deal with people as best as I can. I'm not converting you, right? I'm not jumping on people's live streams that I don't agree with and telling them to convert. Like I have no desire in that. I give everyone the grace to experience life as full as they want. There was a time where I didn't believe what I believed, right? And Source still loved me unconditionally and still gave me grace. That is the same grace I extend to everyone. Yeah. And yes, I read the King James Bible. I've read them, or read it. That's typically, it's not always, sometimes I'll take different translations and put them in here because they're easier to read. You know, sometimes you're reading the King James version of the Bible, you're like, man, what the fuck is this motherfucker talking about? Right? But I do typically stick to the King James version translation. Yeah. I think I don't know what it. When I was younger, I would try to convert people, but I did it. It was a false sense of humility with it. And it was more so trying to ask people questions that confused them just so I could be like, it doesn't make sense, right? Don't you want to do something else? But that was very disingenuous, right? It was not genuine. It was not coming from a good place, from a healthy place. It was coming from a place of pure ego. Even though I would say that it wasn't ego, I'm just asking questions. I just want to know. I'm just curious. Yeah, that's typically what people do. When people start saying, no, I'm just genuinely curious, and they start really poking you, right? Some people really are genuinely curious, right? And I know some of y'all say that when y'all are DMing me, and I know you are genuinely curious, but I'm saying there's certain times where you know, right? You know this person is already, they've already told you that you got to repent. They've already did this, and now all of a sudden they're taking this different angle just to ask you a question to try to stump you. I've been there. I have been there. Okay? But growing out of that and just being like, you know what? The same way the Source accepts me unconditionally and would give me whatever I wanted, whether I believed in them or not, whether I was a Christian or a Catholic or a Protestant or a Muslim or this or that or yeah, no matter what I did, I would be unconditionally loved. Therefore, I'm going to do that for my fellow gods and goddesses. Who am I to judge if Source doesn't? Right? Shit, not judging by the way, it's just the King James version sounds like gibberish. That's exactly what I said. The King James version just sounds like gibberish a lot of times. I'm like, God, don't get my fucking dictionary out with this shit. Sometimes I go to the thesaurus. I'm like, all these other words, and you chose this one. But you can translate that one back to the Hebrew a little bit easier. Interestingly with scripture, right, is that do I really think, I think that if you're looking at it from a historical sense, it could be more important, okay, to look at different translations like King James, or actually go back to the Hebrew. If you're looking at it purely from a historical perspective, if you're like me, I'm really not interested in the history anymore of scripture, right? And I'm more so interested in finding the deeper meanings that source wants to uncover for my life, right? Via parables, etc. While knowing some of the original translations may help. Like we went through the story of Job. That's the one that's my favorite scripture, the story of Job. Right? We talk about that from a metaphysical meaning. We broke that one the fuck down, right? Do I really truly need King James to understand that metaphysically? No. These parables that Jesus was giving, right? The prodigal son and all these things. Do I truly need King James to understand those? No. The parable is the parable. I don't need to know those things, right? So it's also about the purpose that you're going through, right? I doubt, like historians, if I'm really trying to dissect the original writing, well, then a historian is going to want something original, right? Because they're going to dissect it, right? Well, in Genesis, it actually said gods, plural. What does that mean, right? You have to go through the original translations to understand things like that. So things like that, sure. I hear you. I wouldn't say that hard to understand means a deeper meaning. I wouldn't say that. But there are words that you do want to preserve the original language because they were more intentional. But we also have to understand the Bible was still rewritten anyway, right? Still rewritten in the Council of Nicaea anyway. So there's lots of controversy around it. Is it a book that I'm going to, stake my life on as a historical text? No, absolutely not. But is it a book that has gotten me to where I am when it comes to my understanding of metaphysics? Yes. It's a book that is way ahead of its time when it comes to metaphysics. All right, y'all. 10:43 here. I'm gonna probably do another live in the morning. Probably do a live in the morning. But for now, it's sleep time. Look, I appreciate y'all today. I always appreciate the discussion. Probably early. Probably church time. You know what I'm saying? 8 or 9. Get y'all on your Sunday service tip. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate you as well. Probably 8 or 9 Central. Sometimes I feel like y'all try to peer pressure me into giving you a time. I'm just playing. But 8, 9. If it's not 8 or 9, it'll be 10 or 11. And if it's not then, it'll be 1 or 2. So I think that's a reasonable window. I'm gonna give y'all the cable man window again. 8 to noon or 2 to 5. Which window you prefer? Oh, so appreciate y'all. Y'all have a beautiful, beautiful evening. We'll probably do 2, like I said, 2. 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. All right. Matter of fact, we can go through the Job. Let's go through Job tomorrow. We'll go through the Job story tomorrow, first thing. And then if y'all want to jump on, y'all can do that too. So I appreciate you, brother. All right, y'all. Y'all have a beautiful one. Peace out.